Okay. So now you are a writer, producer, director, all in one. Okay.
Only me.
Yes. So see, before we go deep into your latest production, tell me, what does a writer, producer, and director in the film industry, what's your different? I mean, just enlighten us a little bit.
Okay. So once again, let me provide some perspective on how and why I have accumulated all of those job titles. Um, so the process of filmmaking starts from an idea.
Yeah.
So you have a simple idea, story idea, and you develop that to the level where it is ready to be scripted. You script it. Somebody will look at it and say, I like it. I find the money to make it happen. And you go on set, you shoot it, you make it happen. You go into post-production and you cut it and you add music to it and, embellish it and you release it. That is the process.
Yeah.
So when you are, when you, so my introduction into the industry was a rather unorthodox one. So I studied theater arts, dramatic arts at the University of Nigeria and Nsukka, which taught me storytelling. It didn't teach me storytelling. It built on my local, native, vernacular knowledge of storytelling. My grandmother would tell us beautiful stories, and I admired the technique of the storytelling with songs and mime and parody and really a full arsenal of skills to tell stories. And that's that I would say is my foundation as a storyteller.
Yep.
Then I went to University of Nigeria and Nsukka, and I built on that. Before I started playing football, I ran a small theater company going around universities in the southeast of Nigeria, showing my plays that I wrote and directed and I'm acting in. A little bit of creative entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's when it started.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I had a football because I was discovered people to England to do that. And when that didn't work, so when I decided not to play football anymore, I felt that the next thing, and every young person who's listening to this should be aware of this, because I guess what you decided to do when you were 15 or 16 doesn't always materialize.
Yep.
You might evolve and grow out of it, or life might pummel you in a different direction, and you go out of it by force. But in my case, it was a case of, like I said earlier on, having the options, having the presence of mind, having the gift to be able to do whatever it is at the time that I set my mind at doing.
Yeah.
So once I decided not to play football, I set my mind on exploring my creative talents. So I started with plays in London. I directed plays at Broadway, Catford Broadway Theatre, made it big shows, had press coverage. And then I discovered that it was very difficult to make it work commercially, because the grants that are keeping the white theater industry alive were not available to us, and we couldn't survive commercially. So I felt, okay, that's not the future. It's a lot of hard work, but I would need to leave 5 in a room in Camden to be able to eke out a living doing that. And I didn't want to do that. So I felt the future was on the screen, whether it was a small screen or the large screen.
Yeah.
But I had zero training for that. Zero training. I was trained on the craft of the stage.
Yeah.
So I bought myself a camera, and that was when YouTube was coming online. I went on YouTube, learned a few things, bought a camera, bought a laptop, an Apple laptop with Final Cut software on it.
Yeah.
called my friends together. One of them is Anthony Manjaro, who's now a reputable actor in Nollywood. Called them together and said, we're going to shoot a film. So I learned by doing. And
Wow.
after making that film, in 2000, I decided to go to Nigeria at the time that Nollywood was beginning to come up.
Yeah.
So I had the choice of either going to the BBC and becoming an apprentice and having people who were less talented knock me about and knock my confidence, or I had the opportunity of going back to Nigeria, to an evolving film industry, to practice what I wanted to practice, to learn by doing, to learn by my mistakes, to sink or swim. And I lasted 1 year, but those months, exactly 12 months, were, the kind of fire that forged this passion, this resolve to be the best that I could be. Because I'd left Nigeria as a young man, and I returned as another naive young man who didn't understand the business climate of Nigeria and the fact that people, when they say stand, run. When they say run, jump. And I believed that whatever they told me was true, and I got burnt. It was a
Oh,
very negative experience. I had a lot of episodes of going to Idimota to lock people's shops, and confront them in a fight, and the whole of Idumota would gather and start begging me, And I did that for a little while, and I felt, no, this is not working. There must be another way. So I packed my things and came back to London, um, and and I said I was going to come back, and The Mirror Boy became my comeback film. And everything happens in its time.
yeah.
I think the coming of new Nollywood, which is a more um, uh, expansive, more qualitative industry that evolved from the old Nollywood DVD and VHS, was timely for me, because Mirrorboy keyed into that movement with cinemas and with film festivals. And I have been unrecognizable since then, from the guy that they chased out of Nigeria in 2021, in
Wow.
2001.
Yeah.
2001.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to go back to your question, um, I have learned the art of storytelling, um, and taught myself through practice and through study and short courses how to write scripts. And because I'm also a director, I've been directing on stage,
Yeah.
even from my second year. I understood how to manipulate actors. And now that I was working with a different medium, which was
Yeah.
camera,
Mm-hmm.
I understood how to control that vis-a-vis the actors that are in the shots, and how to create the illusion, how to turn this place into a nightclub by moving a few things around. That kind of ingenuity that
Yeah.
came from theater practice, I carried over. So because if I was to choose a role, I would just choose a director role.
Mm.
But as a director, you need good materials to work with,
Yeah.
and they are in very scarce supply.
Mm.
It's either you sit and wait for the best script to come to you by some miracle, or you go ahead and create one.
Right one. Yeah.
If you have the skills to do it, and you have the experience to tell the story,
Yeah.
and you have the experience from a directorial point of view to affect that story from an early stage,
Yeah.
then it makes for a slightly better, it might not read better, but the artistic vision is clear from the very beginning, because you are involved through that process.
All
So
through the process.
that's how I started writing. So I would, because you need the materials to work with, and the materials are not going to fall from heaven, I go on and create the material. And then my preferred position is to direct, and I direct it. And when I finish directing, at the time, the quality of editing that I wanted, I could not afford to pay for it.
Wow.
So I taught myself how to edit.
Woo.
And I would edit it. And the whole administration of running a show is producing.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
the management of the
Yeah.
production
Mm-hmm.
is that's a producing job. And I do that anyway. And also, at the time when I wasn't doing it, I needed to take that producer credit, because that is internationally, that's your right to sell the film.
Yeah.
If you didn't have producer credit, and I was at the film festival and they wanted to buy the film, I'll have to call somebody, say, please, for my film, come and sell this film. No. So I had to have that credit to be able to transact easily.
Yeah.
That's how the producer credit came on board. I was doing the producer work anyway.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have taken that credit for my simplicity, for my humility. But because I needed to be able to make business transactions on behalf of the project, I took the producer credit. And that's how I've become a writer, director,
everything,
producer, and in most cases, But what I also do is I work with a team of, they say, like Obama said, that when you hire people who are smarter than you, in that particular area, you benefit from their smartness. Occasionally I'll work with editors who are more experienced, and I will do the first cut and give them the film and say, this is what I want to do, make magic. And they will make their magic,
they will,
based on my original idea. So that's how I became all of those things. It's not because I'm greedy.
See, my first daughter, she wants to be an actor. Okay. A few weeks ago, she's in A levels. A few weeks ago, I went to watch her performance for her A level, and it was really good, and I was surprised, and pleasantly surprised because the improvement within a year, she's a member of my local theater group. They had a show a few weeks ago at the theater. It was good. The one in our school 2 weeks ago, it was good. I'm looking forward to see her progress in that field.
Blossom.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to see that, to have the talent, to have the presence of mind to identify that as a career, and to have the work ethic, because it's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of rejection, it's a lot of judging.
Okay,
to go on. So
that's just
a lot of resilience. A lot of resilience is required.
Yes, that's what she needs to see in action. In fact, I'm hoping to send her to Nigeria for a holiday to work with my cousin who is in Nollywood as a director and producer like you.
Okay.
Yeah, to go and learn one or two things.
She needs field experience. That would put her in very good stead.
Yes.